Hello everyone, today I'm gonna be giving you guys the ultimate beginner's guide on how to play Honor of Kings. I reached Grandmaster a week into playing this game. I've been co-streaming every single esports game, looking at how the best of the best players play this game, and I'm gonna be teaching you guys all of that so you can get into this game very smoothly. Also, this video is sponsored by Honor of Kings. There is a link in the description and in the pinned comment to download it yourself. So these are gonna be the things that I'm gonna be talking about. How to navigate the UI, objectives on the map. I'm gonna explain all of the roles. I'll explain the settings and how to have some good settings, how you can get a good build and an Arcana setup, how to get into the game smoothly, some more tips and tricks, and then lastly, how to reach a high rank. So let's talk about the UI right now. It may look like there is a lot, but let me talk about some of the most important things right now. This right here is normal mode. Speaks for itself. You play a game of 5v5, which is normal mode. This right here is ranked mode. Speaks for itself as well. You click on it, you're gonna play ranked mode. This over here are your friends. You can click on this, invite people, chat with people. That's what it is. Over here, we have your email. Here's where you're gonna get a lot of stuff for free if you click on claim all and whatnot. Here are the settings. We'll talk about those later. Here's the currencies that you have right now. This is the in-game currency. This is a paid currency. And this is a limited paid currency, which you can claim for free with a lot of things. Talking about claiming things for free, click on this one, the daily freebies. So if you're quick, you're gonna get freebies every single day. And as you can see, there's 15 days remaining. I always claim heroes. You can also claim skins, but for example, I would love to play Dharma because this is a very cool hero that has a lot of fist attacks. So there we go. You can get a lot of heroes for free to just get into this game. These bottom things right here, this is your inventory. Here you can get all of the stuff you've collected, whether it's skin trials, bonus experience, packs or whatnot. And then you can open them and do whatever you want with them, as you can see. Down here, you have the preparation. Here's where you set your builds, your Arcana and whatnot. I'll get back to this part later as well. Here you can check all of the heroes. So you click on this, you check all of the heroes and you can see what they all do. So let's talk about how to navigate around the heroes, how you can find a good hero to play, how you can learn a hero just by being on this tab. So let's pick a hero right now. There we go. So I picked a hero that's a little bit more difficult, which is Hino. So let's talk about how you can actually already learn the hero and how to play the hero, how to use his abilities just by this tab. So over here, you can see all of the abilities. The passive, first ability, second ability, ultimate. So clicking on one of them shows you a video on what it does. It explains to you what the passive does. It gives you a text. You know, Hano's basic attacks differ depending on whether he's melee or ranged, blah, blah, blah. You click on any ability, and for any champion, there is a video on what it does. Explains to you very briefly what it does. This is not in detail, obviously, very briefly, as you can see with everything. If you want it in more detail, here's the button. You click on it and you're gonna get everything. All of the damage, all of the scaling, what happens when you level it up, and all of that. But that's not all. You see this little button over here, the skill combos? There are videos for every single champion as well, where someone in the game explains to you how to combo stuff. There we go. Like, I'm a good Hano player, and these are good combos. So just by checking out this layout, for each individual hero, you can check these videos, how everything works. You can check the details if you want the details, and then you can check the skill combos to get an even more of an explanation on how to play the hero in the game. So before you even head into the game, you can already sort of explore how your hero works, so you don't have to read all of the abilities while you're playing the game. And then obviously here you can see all of the roles, so you can see which hero is gonna fit your role. Again, I'll get back to these roles and explain each individual role and what you have to do with each role. So continuing about the UI, there's a lot of stuff right here. Again, don't let it intimidate you. We talked about the daily freebies. These are honestly things, these are extras. Like here you can watch esports, for example, if you click on the invitational S2. And then here you get a nice little video promoting some in-game events as well, some esports events and all of that. And then up here are the events. There are a ton of events. And let's just say, even if you don't care about them, I do, you can claim a lot of stuff. Like this is a Bruce Lee event. Who doesn't care about a Bruce Lee event? It's a Bruce Lee puzzle. After you collect everything, you have to make a puzzle, you know, and then you're gonna get rewards. You actually get a lot of rewards from this. So as you can see, you simply go to the events, claim the stuff, do the missions, and there is more. Up here, there's a lot more. And honestly, what I recommend you to do, just so you don't get confused, only check if there's like a number above something or like a red mark. Go to the red mark, pick whatever has the red mark, and then there's gonna be something available for you. Honestly, like that's all you have to do. It's not complicated. There we go. 1,000 starstones. You buy heroes with starstones. You can see you get a lot of stuff for free. A lot of stuff for free. That's it. Like that's it regarding the events. You're gonna check out all of the events here. You're gonna see what's available. You're gonna claim it. You're gonna do the missions, and you're gonna get a lot of free stuff. Here is the shop, and this is in case you want to buy something, you know, skins and whatnot. You want to gift something to a friend. You know, this is there for the people that love the game, that love the skins. And as you can see, there's also stuff you can buy with limited edition currency. You get this for free by completing missions and all of that. So then there's this button right here. This button, you're gonna be able to see your friends, friend requests. As you can see, I got a lot of friend requests right here. But more importantly, you can see your friend list and groups. Groups are like guilds. Basically, you make a group, and I have 2 groups, which is Hell's Dungeon. This one is unfortunately full, but I also have this one, Hell's Graveyard. You can join it if you want to. Make sure you do the capitalization correctly. And as you can see, you know, we type in the chat, talk together and all of that. And over here, you also get stuff. You get stuff for free. Now, I don't know how to show you how to get that. Oh, there we go. So you get premium privileges. Like you can see, everyone is gonna get skin trials and all of that as long as everyone in the group is active. And then lastly, up here is your profile. You can click on it. You can look at your match history. You can look at your stats. You can look at all of the heroes here that you have and all of your stats on the heroes. You can look at a lot of stuff. You can look at what skins you have. You can look at your reputation in game. This is very important because if this goes down, you know, you're not going to be able to play all game. But basically over here, you're going to be able to see all of the stuff about yourself. All right, so let's move on to the objectives on the map. So the way you're going to be able to get to the setting where I'm going to get is you click on the ranked mode. And then all the way up here is the map. And when you click on it, boom, it shows you the map. I'm not gonna talk about everything, but in case you do want to learn everything, you can click on anything, get a detailed explanation and see what it does. But I'm gonna go over the most important things just so you as a complete beginner will know what's going on the map, and the rest you'll figure it out yourself. It's very, very easy. By the way, guys, I do want to ask you to follow my Twitch. You know, if I stream Honor of Kings gameplay, I'll do it on my Twitch. And I am co-streaming Honor of Kings esports. I'm casting it on my own Twitch channel together with Xcoundrel, you know, bringing you guys the absolute top tier entertainment. So I'm gonna stream it on the 7th of July. Well, I'm streaming every day, but the grand finals are on the 7th of July. You really don't want to miss those. I'm starting the stream at 12 p.m. Amsterdam time, and that's when the grand finals are happening. But all of the other days, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, blah, 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 I'm gonna stream as well. All right. So let's talk about the most important things on the map. Again, I'm not gonna talk about everything, but first things first, highlighted right now are the normal turrets. There are 6 normal turrets. Whenever you take a turret, you get a lot of gold. You know, you get a lot of advantages on the map because the turrets do damage to you. Your turrets do damage to the enemy team, and the enemy team turrets do damage to you. Whenever you take down a turret, the minions are gonna be slowed as well. So you cannot push lanes incredibly quickly, as there is like a mechanic against that. And then the 3 turrets that are highlighted right now are the high ground towers. These are the more important towers. You don't want to lose these, because the moment you lose these, let's say you lose the bot lane one, this one over here, the enemy wave is going to be buffed permanently the entire game after you lose that turret. There's going to be constant pressure on that side of the map, so you really, really want to be defending your high ground towers very, very well. And then obviously over here, this is your base. If this dies, you die, the whole game dies, you lose the game. So the ultimate objective of everything is killing this thing. Well, obviously not yours, you want to destroy this one. So besides the turret, we can see there's a lot of other stuff. You know, we have a lot of jungle camps and whatnot. But again, let's talk about the most important stuff. In the jungle, there's only 2 jungle camps that I want to talk about. First things first is the red buff. And if we click on it, you can read it yourself over here. But basically what it does, it gives you basic attacks true damage, and your basic attacks will slow the enemy. This will be very good for the jungler early game, but even better for the ADC in the late game. In your jungle, it will be here. In the enemy jungle, it will be mirrored, of course, it will be over there. Next up is the blue buff, which is over here. And what the blue buff does is it restores your mana. It just restores your mana and it gives you cooldown reduction. Again, early game, this is meant for the jungler, but later on in the game, generally it's going to be the mid laner that's going to be taking it, since in the mid lane, you are pretty much exclusively playing some sort of a mage in Honor of Kings. So those are small jungle camps, small objectives. Now let's talk about the real deal, the big objectives. We have the Tyrant and the Overlord. First things, you know, it's either here or here, depending on which side of the map you are at. It's like either on either place. So this one is the Tyrant. And again, there's a lot of stuff to it, but basically what the Tyrant does, it buffs your basic attack. It just gives you like a lightning damage to your basic attack. So whenever you attack an enemy, you're gonna get bonus lightning on the enemy, which does damage. Something else you need to notice as well, the lightning does 3 times more damage to jungle camps, which means if you get a Tyrant, you can actually invade the jungle really efficiently because you're gonna clear the jungle super quickly. All of this thing buffs your team. That's it, the Tyrant. Now next up we have the Overlord, this purple guy over here. So when I click on this one is gonna spawn like mini vanguards, which are like mini dragons in every single lane. You're gonna cancel your minion wave. So the next 2 minion waves that are coming on every single lane is going to be like a mini dragon. This mini dragon does similar damage to minion waves as the normal minions. However, when it reaches a turret is where it gets powerful. It takes reduced turret damage. It does a lot of damage to turrets. So essentially taking the Overlord gives you pushing power. You can push turrets. And also both objectives, the Tyrant and the Overlord, will give your team golden experience as well. Something else to notice is this little thing that's written right here. Primal Bond. Whenever you take either the Tyrant or the Overlord, your team is gonna do 50% damage to the other thing. So let's say you take the Tyrant, you're gonna do 50% damage to the Overlord. And this is so the game stops you from snowballing as hard. These are like anti-snowballing mechanics. So you may be wondering, what the hell is this yellow thing? I'll talk about this one later. First things first, we're gonna talk about the phases of the game. Because when you start the game at 0 minutes, you know, the map looks different compared to 4 minutes. Because in the beginning, 0 minutes until 4 minutes, as you can see, tower shield shatters. So the tower in the beginning is shielded. It takes reduced damage, and then until you can see it takes 40% less damage, and then after 4 minutes that effect diminishes and you can destroy turrets very quickly. 4 minutes is also when the Tyrant and the Overlord spawn. And the interesting thing is, 10 minutes into the game, you're gonna get an enhanced Tyrant, an enhanced Overlord. The enhanced Tyrant does more damage and gives your team movement speed. The enhanced Overlord is the same thing as the normal Overlord. However, on top of the normal Overlord, you're also getting, or on top of the normal Vanguards, I should say, you're also getting one big Vanguard, one big dragon, and you can choose where to put it. Mid, top, bot, doesn't matter. And the big Vanguard obviously does a lot more damage than the small ones, giving you even more pushing power. And now next up, 20 minutes into the game, by the way, 10 minutes also cannons will spawn, which make the waves a little bit stronger, more push power and all of that, and tankier. But 20 minutes into the game, you can see we got this whole phase just for a single objective. And now you may be wondering, what the hell kind of an objective is that? So the Tempest objective, there's a lot of stuff about it. You know, a lot of stuff written about it, and there's more stuff written about it when I click on it here. As you can see, you can read it if you want to, but basically, this is a game-ending objective. This objective, the Overlord and the Tyrant will despawn at 20 minutes, and this one will spawn. This is going to be the only one. It's going to spawn either on the top side or on the bot side. What it does, it gives you a massive shield, massive shield. It gives you bonus true damage based on 5% of the enemy's maximum health and 20% of the enemy jungle's health. It spawns insanely powerful yellow Vanguards in lanes. 2 waves of yellow Vanguards in every wave. And these yellow Vanguards are tankier than the purple Vanguards. They do more damage than the purple Vanguards. And they stun a turret for 5 seconds upon arrival. So let's just say this is a bit of a game-ending objective. You get this one, you are giga buffed. So those are the most important things to know about on the map. Obviously, there's a lot of random small stuff, but these are just jungle camps. Like, there's some small details about them. But if you just know how the things work that I have just explained, you basically understand 95% of the map. So now let's talk about the roles to see what you have to do in your role, to see which role fits best for you. Let's get into it. So first things first, what I would say is the easiest role, the clash lane. So when I click on this, the clash lane is a special lane. You're generally going to pick fighters or tanks, just as it suggests over here. And what you do in the clash lane, honestly, is you just sort of farm and fight in a 1v1 with another bruiser and another tank. And in the early game, as it says, you know, you get a little bit bonus XP. You want to split push, you know, basically top lane. You're a top laner. Next up, we have the jungle. And in Honor of Kings, the jungler gets high levels very quickly. You get the blue buff, you get the red buff. You are insanely strong early game, right? So you want to utilize this by farming quickly, ganking, fighting, invading, you know, all of that is what the jungler needs to do in the early stages of the game. Generally, the jungler is also somewhat of a shot caller since you have a smite as the jungler, so you can secure objectives, right? The tyrant or the overlord or anything like that. So you as a jungler should not only farm up and utilize your early game powers, because you're going to reach level 4 the fastest out of anyone. So everyone is going to be level 2, level 3. You're already going to be level 4. You're going to be able to gank lanes left and right, win fights left and right. You're going to be very, very strong. So, but you got to be confident in your shoes to play jungle. I would say jungle is by far the hardest role in the game. And the funny thing is, if you look at all the heroes that are played in the jungle, these are going to be the most heroes out of any other role. Jungle is filled with different heroes. So I don't suggest you to start out with the jungle. Now let's talk about the mid lane. In the mid lane, you almost exclusively want to play a mage because these minions will have bonus armor, but they lack magic resist. What this means is you can pick a mage in lane, you can shove the wave super quickly and roam around. Gank top lane, gank mid lane, help your jungler. And you need to do that. In Honor of Kings, your role as the mid laner is to not only carry in the late game, it's also to actually help out your team. The minions are literally made squishy for you just so you can roam around and do all of that. So next up we got the farm lane role, and this is my favorite one. To sort of explain to you how it works is the lane is called farm lane. Reason so is this lane will give you the most gold in the entire game. It literally gives more gold. The minions are worth more, you get more gold, and this is the lane you will always play marksman on, aka ADCs. You want to farm up early game, farm, and generally in Honor of Kings, most ADCs are late game. This is what I've noticed. You know, I've played almost every ADC in the game. I've literally played every ADC in the game actually. Every ADC is good late game. So what I'm trying to say is utilize this lane, farm yourself up, get to the late game, and then as the farm lane carry, the marksman or the ADC you can say, you're gonna carry in the late game. I know it says you can provide roaming support here and seek out teamfight opportunities. I disagree with that. I think you should just farm. Farm yourself up, and only if it's like an absolute free kill should you leave your lane and help your team with the fight. Or after you've shoved the wave under the turret and there's nothing else to do, first of all, push the turret. ADCs do a lot of damage to turrets, but secondly, then you can roam around and help your teammates. Now, talking about helping your teammates, we go to the roaming role. This role is exclusively built for roaming and helping out your teammates. Now, you're gonna build an item in the game. This item will be recommended to you. Don't worry when you pick the roaming role. This item, basically you can just farm whatever you want. As long as your teammate is close to you, your teammate will get the full gold regardless. You're passively gonna get gold too. The roamer is always gonna have the least amount of gold. I do want you guys to understand it, but the roamer is gonna be a tank or like an enchanting CC type of support just to support your team. And this is my second favorite role. I really love it because people just underestimate what you can do as a roamer, and that's what makes this role a beautiful role in my opinion. You can absolutely turn fights around like crazy, whether it's with CC, with engages, with tankiness, with whatever you want. The roam support is amazing. Alright, so now we're quickly gonna get into the settings. I'm not gonna talk a lot about this. I'm just sort of gonna navigate you through them so you kind of know which stuff you have to adjust, which stuff you don't have to adjust. You know, here's your personal information, not important. This one is very important though. You know, obviously you want to set this one to an appropriate number and appropriate quality depending on your phone. And what I suggest you to do is start out at like a medium quality or like the recommended quality. Like you can see the game recommends me to turn this on 5. And that's what I did in the beginning. After that, I noticed the game is very smoothly, then I turned it up. So basically FPS, maximum is going to be 120 FPS if your phone allows it. Ultra is 90. I put it on high. I don't really care. I want 60 FPS. Resolution, you know, again, see what you want. I'm not gonna go through everything. I'm just gonna mention the most important things. This one, however, never put it on close up, always standard. The first thing you're gonna change in the game, the moment you download it, is this particular setting. Camera height to standard. I repeat, camera height to standard. It is unplayable with the close-up camera. UI animation, if you have a bad phone, turn it off. All that it does is the animations here, like when you're on the UI. So here as well, on the overall graphics, you can literally see what it looks like. If I put it on number 1, it looks kind of terrible. This is gonna work really well for bad devices, but what I have is of course the ultimate one. So you can see it looks a lot better. Actually, I don't have ultimate. I have whatever I have. I have it on custom, okay? I've done everything the way I want to do it, as you can see. I've changed everything up. Like, honestly, play around with this. Play around with this and see what you enjoy and what your phone enjoys as well. See, next up we have the in-game settings. These ones are also not that important. This is just personal preference, as you can see. You can dim the game, you can show FPS, you can show names, and all of that. You know, this is just preference. This doesn't actually properly affect the game. Now what does affect the game starts here, the controls. And here you actually have to adjust your settings. Now some things that are very cool about this is, first thing you're gonna do, applicable to all heroes. That's what you're gonna do, and then you're gonna change all of these settings exactly how you want. And then sometimes you'll pick a hero and you'll notice, okay, wait a minute, only with Direnji I don't like it if I can't basic attack while I'm standing still. So I'm gonna change it to single hero customization. While you're in the game, while you're playing Direnji, you're gonna adjust a setting and the game will remember that setting for that particular hero. You see what I'm saying? You have your general settings that's gonna be going for everyone, and then when you're in the game, you can customize it for a single hero. You can also customize it here. You can just swap the heroes if you want to, as you can see, and change the settings the way you like. Next thing, you always want to turn this on advanced. Never ever recommend it, because then you're missing out on the minion attack button and the turret attack button. This one is for noobs. You guys are not noobs. Play it like this. And then here again, personal preference. All of this is personal preference, and I really suggest you to play around with the auto basic attack and attack while moving. These ones and this one. I know a lot of people are frustrated in Honor of Kings because like when you click a basic attack, you'll automatically follow an enemy, which is extremely annoying. These 3 settings is what's gonna help you with that. Play around with it. You can turn it on what I have right now, and that problem is gonna be gone, just so you know. And then here as well, this is completely personal preference, and as you can see, this one as well, I really suggest you to do precise one. This is basic attack target selection, so you can select an enemy target while basic attacking. Don't put it on disable, because then you're gonna literally attack random targets. Put it on precise to give yourself an option to attack an enemy. If you don't want to put it on precise, at least put it on fan shaped, so you can at least aim on whichever enemy you want to hit. And then here, personal preference, everything personal preference. All of this is personal preference, as you can see. Camera follow skill. All of this is personal preference. Like, you can copy mine or you can do it for yourself, and that's it. And here as well, personal preference on how you want to do that. So next up is the layout. This one is extremely important too. And I'm referring to this one here, custom layout. So what you need to do is you need to change your layout. This is my layout right now, as you can see. So you can move around everything. I'm not gonna play with my own layout. Like, let's say you wanna move the skills here. You wanna move this one here. You know, you wanna make this one bigger. You wanna make it more transparent. You can do whatever you want. You can even move the flash over here if you wanna play like that. Move it around, put it exactly where you feel like you need it. You know, exactly how your fingers are gonna work well with it. Everything is adjustable. And then of course you can save it. I'm resetting it because I'm not actually moving it like that. Save it. And yeah, there it is. And then here as well, there's left hand mode, right hand mode, or custom mode. I have it on custom because some things I want on the right. For example, oh god, what did I just do? I changed everything. Oh no. Okay, but whatever, I'll fix it later. The recommended equipment, I want it on the right, but for example, the minimap, I prefer it to be on the left. And here you can see there's a lot of stuff. The shop tabs, which I do want on the left, and this I want on the whatever, I'll change this later. And then you can change the transparency as well. Like, as you can see up here, the shop becomes more transparent. I hate transparency, so I don't have all of that. And then here, more customization stuff. And then besides that, we have sound. This is all not important. So those are the settings. Now let's talk about how to have a good build and Arcana setup. So as I said, over here, you have the prep. And honestly, you don't even need this tab. Because when you get into a game, you'll be able to click on this button over here. When you click here, it shows you the recommended build. Yeah? So here's, like, you can see the popular presets. You can see the pro builds. But this is the real deal. Check the hot builds. And then in the hot builds, you can see how many victories each build has, what the win rate is of each build, and then you can just choose one. And as a complete beginner, all you're gonna do, you're gonna click here, boom. So all you're gonna do. Or you're gonna click here on number 1, number 2, or the number 3 build. Don't even think, just click. This is like if you haven't played a single game yet, right? After playing 100 games, 200 games, you're still gonna do this, still gonna copy the builds, but then while you're in the game, you're sort of gonna scroll through the items, scroll through everything, and choose yourself whichever item you wanna buy. And then regarding the Arcana, again, like, you really need to be a veteran player to properly set up your Arcana for each individual game. So what I do recommend is, yet again, simply follow these builds. You can see every build has sort of similar Arcana, but like, honestly, literally just copy this. Don't even touch the Arcana. For now, like, as a beginner's guide and even like a more advanced guide, don't even touch it. And then lastly, you have the spells. Here you can see there's a lot of different spells. Everything is good in any different situation. Honestly, this is generally preset. Like, there's a lot of heroes that are going to be good with heal. This is for roamers. This is for junglers. This is generally for top laners. This is flash, almost everyone uses flash, you know, anti-CC. This one is like an exhaust, enemies around you do less damage. This one stuns everyone around you. This one gives you extra lifesteal and extra damage. And this one allows you to sprint, make you a bit quicker. It's very, very simple, really. And then this one, you know, as you can see, it silences enemy structures, allows you to dive more efficiently. So like everything is good for particular situations. So next up, let's talk about how to get into this game smoothly while watching some gameplay in the background. Alright, so during this part, I'm simply gonna talk about how I reached Grandmaster, you know, how I played this game, how I learned how to play this game. I'm just gonna give you my tips while turning down the volume on how to get good at this game, because it truly is a lot easier than you think. Meanwhile, while I say that, I moved to the wrong lane in this game, which is quite embarrassing, but it's fine. See, first things first, what I want to tell you is it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not know what's going on, as long as you're having fun. See, the number one thing you need to do is identify certain heroes you're gonna have fun with. Like, I loved playing Marco Polo in the beginning. I loved playing Alessio because I really liked how their kits looked like. Find heroes that you enjoy the kits of, you know, by watching videos, watching live streams, testing them out yourselves, watching the in-game videos. Try them out, and if you enjoy one or two or three, play them a lot. Play them, get familiar with the map, get familiar with last hitting minions, get familiar with how everything works, the Tyrant, the Overlord, turrets and all that. Familiarize yourself with the environment. After like 10, 15, 20 games, start to broaden your perspective. Start to pick up more heroes. By the way, stick to two roles. Stick to two roles. For me, it was mid lane and farm lane. That's all I played, mid lane and farm lane. Only now that I start expanding my role to the clash lane. This is like my second game on a lane, by the way. So play two roles and start to slowly but surely extend your hero pools. You know, start to play 5 heroes, 10 heroes, 15 heroes, 20 heroes. When you play Honor of Kings, when you do missions, you're gonna get a lot of free hero trials, which means you can play everything for free for like many games. So play them. If after 3 games of playing that hero you enjoy him a lot, buy that hero for your in-game currency. Just buy it and play that hero a whole lot more. Okay, so after that, let's say you keep getting against an enemy hero that it's super frustrating to play against and you just don't know what to do against it. Watch a short video on it. Like, let's say 5 games in a row you've been playing against a Kui and you keep getting hooked in and you just don't get how he works. Just quickly, either in your game, watch those videos on what he does, what he doesn't do. Don't look at the detailed description, just watch the videos. And then you know, okay, wait a minute, he hooks, he storms the ground, and then he pulls me in with his ultimate. So now I know all I need to do is avoid his hook, right? And you can see, like, that's how you can learn how to counter heroes that you're having a lot of trouble with. Learning how to play the heroes yourself, you just have to play them in the game. So honestly, I played all random stuff until I got like Platinum Diamond rank. That's when I started to tryhard a little bit more. That's when I started to... So like before Diamond, I played like 20 different heroes. And then when I reached Master, I brought it down to like 10 heroes. Because then I was like, okay, I gotta take it a bit more seriously. I'm not gonna troll. Because at Master, you don't want to try out heroes in ranked anymore. Because at that point, people take it more seriously. Because, you know, it's a higher rank. If you want to try heroes from that point, play a casual game or PvP game or whatever it's called. So in ranked, you're only gonna play the heroes you're actually good at. And then after that, let's talk about how you actually win games. You know, how to get into this game and how... First things, how do you get to Master, right? How the hell do you get to Master? So what I suggest in the lower ranks is pick heroes that can carry really well. Don't pick team-reliant heroes. Don't pick a lot of these heroes that don't have any CC and all of that. Pick heroes that can just carry the game by themselves. Like Alain is a really good example for that. He has a lot of mobility, he has a lot of damage, he has a really good ultimate to dodge stuff. So pick heroes like this. And see, once you have, as I said, like 50, 60 games or so, you'll slowly but steadily start to identify heroes and what they do. So for example, if there's like a Kai1 or a Dr. Bayern in the enemy team, at some point I'll be able to identify that these heroes have a lot of healing. Yeah, like they have a lot of healing. And then when I look at the build that I've copied from the hot builds and whatnot, I notice that there is no anti-heal in it. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna look at the shop, find an item that gives me anti-heal, and buy that item. This is gonna be your first situational item that I recommend you to try out. Whenever you notice the enemies are healing up a lot, check your items, check which items are going to give you anti-heal and which don't, and buy an item that gives you anti-heal. See, the second situational item that I recommend you guys to go for is if you notice that the enemies have a lot of magic damage, you're gonna skip some of your armor items, you're gonna go for magic items. Something else as well, in Honor of Kings, you can buy and sell boots for free. Well, the first boots you have to pay for, but whenever you have boots, you can exchange them for other boots. So for example, if in the early game you bought boots that give you bonus physical damage, but then you ended up noticing, okay, wait a minute, I need armor. You can swap them out for armor boots for free. So that's like the easiest way to sort of either increase your damage or increase your tankiness. Just change out your boots, exchange them for other boots, and that's it. So honestly, I feel like I've told you all of the beginner stuff. I just want to talk about how you can get from like Diamond to Grandmaster. Because as I said, I did it all in like 8 days. It was quite easy for me. It's not like it wasn't actually easy, it was just easy for me. I did notice that people were really good at these ranks and people were genuinely tryharding. So at this stage of the game, you have to know people are good. You know, when you're in gold rank, platinum rank, and this is not like trying to be offensive to gold and platinum rank or whatnot, you can cheese enemies very easily. In a sense where you'll be able to sort of outplay enemies quite easily. People don't really play to try hard. People just kind of play to have fun. People just kind of play to like, you know, play with their friends. They're not playing to rank up hard. You know, you can cheese them in their jungle, wait in bushes and all of that. You can pick the same stuff every game, it doesn't matter. The draft doesn't matter. Like, all of that doesn't matter. You can just literally pick whatever you want and just have some fun. But once you reach, you know, the platinum, the diamond rank, at diamond, people start to actually get good at this game. People will do objectives together. People will know how to play against you. People are actually gonna, like, look at this Wukong for example. People are actually gonna dodge your abilities. People are gonna try to outplay you. So you're gonna have to learn how to combo your abilities properly. You're gonna have to learn a little bit more how enemy heroes work. Every time you're getting destroyed by a hero, I want you to very quickly look up like a small video about that hero, see what he does, and boom, you've learned what that hero does. And for it, like here you can see the boots are free, right? Like over there on the screen, you were able to see it. Next up, once you reach the master rank, people are actually gonna control the waves. You need to start doing this as fast as possible. Freezing waves, pushing waves, invading enemy jungles. And the number one thing, this is the number one thing in Honor of Kings, is heroes do a lot of damage to jungle and minions. Now what I'm trying to say over here is you don't want to run around doing nothing. You always want to try to get something. So like right here for example, I took the mid lane minions. I was scouting for jungle first. I didn't notice there was any jungle, so I'm immediately ganking mid lane. I'm ganking them, helping them in the team fight so we can have a proper 5 versus 5 team fight. Gonna go in right here. Unfortunately got stunned and pulled and whatnot. I couldn't even do anything. So that was a bit unlucky. Very well played by the enemies to chain CC me like that. I couldn't even ult, it was impossible. So what I'm saying is, you want to take minions, take turrets, take jungle. Like especially jungle. You know how, like the jungle camps are extremely squishy in Honor of Kings. And also while watching competitive, I noticed whenever people are running around, they're constantly taking jungle. Especially these wolves right here. You see these? These are ranged. They are ranged. So from afar, you can attack them. They're not gonna move. They'll stand still and attack you from range. You're gonna get them in like 3 seconds. It's gonna give you like, you know, between 50 and 100 gold, which is a lot of gold for nothing, right? Like, and here you can see as well, I'm quickly taking this one. And yes, something else you need to learn as well, and this is like getting into the master, grandmaster ranks. This is more advanced, is you gotta last hit minions. And you know, I know this is a sponsored video and whatnot, but last hitting minions is an absolute hell in this game. It is so damn difficult. Like, oh my god. And I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But I do know some people don't like that. The thing is, if you don't get the minion, you only get like 60% of the gold. You will get 100% of the experience, but only 60% of the gold. So, as I said, in gold, platinum and all, and even diamond rank, it doesn't really matter if you get the minions. But once you reach Master, Grandmaster, the enemy will get most minions. Not most really, like maybe like 40-50% because of how difficult it really is. Only once you reach like beyond Grandmaster, it's truly gonna become efficient. But as I said, between Master and Grandmaster, you wanna actually do your best to last hit minions. And you could take this tip all the way in the beginning already, although I feel like you'll be a little bit overwhelmed. Once you've learned the game and all of that, start to actually try to last hit minions. Only then. You will be able to see when you can last hit minions, like the HP bar will turn white. When the HP bar turns white, it means your next basic attack is gonna one-shot the minion. So you can use that as like a guidance, as a form of guidance on when you're able to last hit the minions. But again, I want to warn you, it is quite difficult. So like, The thing about Honor of Kings is the skill floor is not that high. You can get into this game immediately, pick up a hero and do well on it. Skill floor is not high. But the skill ceiling, like I'm looking up right now, I don't even see the ceiling. You can't even see it, the skill ceiling. That's how high it is. That is how high it is. And I know like a lot of people are gonna love that. So like you shouldn't be intimidated to get into the game. You'll be fine. It's not that difficult to get into it on the lower elos. But once you get to the higher elos, guys, oh baby is all I can say, because the players get so good. Like this hero that I'm playing right here, Elaine, it's really not that difficult to get into him. But if you actually read what his abilities do, you're gonna get a headache. You're genuinely gonna get a headache. His passive has like 3 different things. He stacks up energy, but he also has separate stacks for his first ability. Like, look, like this bar is gonna be his energy. Once he stacks it up fully, he's gonna get bonus penetration, armor and magic penetration, and he's gonna get bonus damage reduction. And then these 3 stacks below, every basic attack you do on an enemy hero, you're gonna improve your first ability. Look. Boom, boom. And this is only 2 stacks, so it's not the maximum first ability. My second ability dashes through an enemy, gives me attack speed. My ultimate makes me untargetable, allows me to move. I have to cast it on an enemy hero or on my hero. Here you can see it. When I go on an enemy, it does damage. When I go on a teammate, it gives a shield. Do you now get my point? Like, I hope I made my point clear by explaining how Elaine works. Heroes are extremely complicated, while also being easy to get into. You don't gotta know all of that. You don't gotta know it. You can play a lane without knowing that. You'll be fine. But again, once you reach the higher elos, it's like a switch, basically. You go from just having fun, kind of just trying stuff out. And as I said, that is the strategy you should have early on. You know, in the lower elos, that is exactly the strategy you need to have. Just have fun, find what you enjoy, explore playstyles, whether it's split pushing, tank, bruiser, drag, ADC, mid lane, jungle, explore. You know, I want you guys to explore playstyles. I especially don't want you guys to be afraid to try something. Like, never be afraid. If you think something is gonna work, try it. In lower elos, try it. Right? Try it. That's how you're gonna explore new things for you. That's how you're gonna explore what you enjoy the most. And if you enjoy something a lot, it's gonna be easier for you to learn it and get into it and to remember it. Because if you're picking something just for the sake of winning, you're generally not gonna enjoy playing it as much. And then, you know, you're more prone to not playing it too well. So be very, very careful about that. Also, what I do recommend, guys, is follow me on Twitch. You know, currently I'm analyzing all of the competitive games. You know, you can learn a lot of things over there. You can ask me questions. I will answer them to you guys. Then again, the link is in the description, because that's where you can see like the top players, right? These are the best of the best players. I learned how to play a lane just by watching them. Like, I watched them play it. I saw the strategies by diving turrets and avoiding turret shots with the ultimate and whatnot. That's how you learn the most, honestly, on like master onwards. You know, once you reach master and grandmaster, etc., you want to watch esports as well. And especially, you know, you can watch me. Like, if I'm co-streaming, I'm grandmaster rank myself, right? So I really do know what I'm talking about, analyzing and casting the game and whatnot. Of course, there's other streamers doing it too. And of course, there's the official broadcast too. They have casters too that are going to be explaining to you guys exactly what's happening in the game. So that's going to be it for the video. For your information, yes, we did win the game. Thank you all very much for watching. You know, let me know what you thought about this video. Leave down a comment with questions and all of that. I'll try to respond to as many questions as I can. Give the video a like. Again, thanks a lot to Honor of Kings for sponsoring this video. The download link is in the description, in the pinned comment. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.